Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Good afternoon. The devotional today will be led by Representative Chris Kieser of Rutland City.
Good afternoon. Madam Speaker, House colleagues, staff, guests, and visitors. Robert Frost is one of my favorite poets, mostly because the images and symbols mirror much of my experience. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. And being one traveler, long I stood to where it met in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the other for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I would ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference. In this poem, Frost reflects on a moment of choice. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference. Every day in this chamber, we stand at a crossroads. The roads before us are not marked by trees or leaves, but by ideas, priorities, and values. Each bill, each vote, each debate asks us to choose a path, not for ourselves, but for the people of Vermont. Frost reminds us that the road less traveled often requires courage. It may mean listening more than speaking, seeking common ground when division feels easier, and placing long-term good above short-term gain. These choices are rarely simple. They demand humility, patience, and a willing to compromise. Compromise is not a weakness. It is the art of governance. It is the recognition that no single road belongs to one traveler alone. In this House, we must walk together. Our paths converge in service to the common good, even when we begin from different directions. As Frost says, the choice has made all the difference. The decisions we make here ripple outward into homes, schools, farms, and businesses across Vermont. They shape the future in ways we may never fully see. Today, as we take up the work before us, may we choose our roads with wisdom and integrity. May we honor the trust placed in us by those we represent. And may we remember that the difference we make is not in the ease of the path, but in the purpose in which we walk it. Thank you.
Members, we have 21 House bills for introduction today. With that, member from Poultney, can you please offer us a motion to suspend our rules to introduce bills by number only?
Madam Speaker, I make a motion to suspend rules in order to introduce bills by number only.
The member from Poultney moves that we suspend our rules to introduce bills by number only. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have suspended rules to introduce bills by number only. Please listen to the first reading of bills by number only.
H 791.
To Energy and Digital Infrastructure.
H 792.
To Commerce and Economic Development.
H 793.
to Government Operations and Military Affairs,
H 794,
to Ways and Means,
H 795,
to Human Services,
H 796,
to Transportation,
H 797,
to Judiciary,
H 798,
to Judiciary,
H 799,
to Education,
H 800,
to Human Services,
H 801,
to Government Operations and Military Affairs,
H 802,
to Education,
H 803,
to Commerce and Economic Development,
H 804,
to Commerce and Economic Development,
H 805,
to Environment,
H 806,
to Government Operations and Military Affairs,
H 807,
to Education,
H 808,
to Education,
H 809,
to Education,
H 810,
to Transportation,
and H 811.
to Government Operations and Military Affairs. Members, we have a House resolution to take up at this time. H.R. 12 is a House resolution expressing support for the principles behind the statement of Governor Philip B. Scott regarding the federal surge of U.S. immigration and customs enforcement and U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in the state of Minnesota, offered by Representative Donahue of Northfield and others. Please listen to the reading of the resolution by title only.
House Resolution expressing support for the principles behind the statement of Governor Philip B. Scott regarding the federal surge of U.S. immigration and customs enforcement and U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in the state of Minnesota.
Now this resolution has been read and is placed on the calendar for action on the next legislative day pursuant to House Rule 52. Members, we have a joint Senate resolution to take up at this time. JRS 38 is a joint resolution relating to weekend adjournment on January 30th, 2026. It was offered by Senator Baruth and was read and adopted on the part of the Senate. Please listen to the reading of the resolution.
Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that when the two houses adjourn on Friday, January 30, 2026, it be to meet again no later than Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026.
Now you have heard the reading of the resolution, and the question is, shall the House adopt the resolution in concurrence? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and the resolution is adopted in concurrence. Are there any announcements? Member from Westminster.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Sorry. I have some guests in the chamber today. 10 members of Third Act Vermont are here from Washington, Windham, and Windsor counties. Third Act is a national organization for people over 60 who are working on ending the emergencies of democracy and climate change.
Will the guest of the member from Westminster please rise and be recognized? Are there any further announcements? Member from Essex.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today is a very special person's birthday. The member was one of the reasons that my husband and I moved to Vermont, because her spouse and my spouse ended up working together for the last 25 years. And she was the only reason I ever wanted to go to the holiday parties. And I would always learn something. I would always laugh, and I would always get a new recipe for something delicious. And so please help me wish the member from Burlington a very happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, member from Burlington. Member from Burlington.
Madam Speaker, I just want to invite members to join us tonight on Zoom at 5 p.m. for our first meeting of the Universal Healthcare Caucus of this session. Universal healthcare is not a failed idea. what has failed is a privatized, insurance-driven system increasingly dominated by private equity firms that extract profit, dismantle infrastructure, and abandon communities. This doesn't create choice, it creates chaos and suffering, and we can choose a different path forward, one rooted in care, dignity, and long-term solutions. So join us tonight for a review of current legislation to look at what are some viable pathways for moving forward towards the promise of Act 48 as our healthcare system is crumbling. Thank you.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Heartland.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to remind members that tonight is our second performance of Farmers Night. Last week for opening night, we had a great turnout, and we'd certainly like to continue that trend. This evening, we're going to present Allison Mann and Colin McCaffrey. This is a duo that blends folk and jazz, and they distinguish themselves with their fluid rapport and beautifully blended vocal harmonies. So, love to see you here. That's this evening at 7:30.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Swanton.
Madam Speaker, on Friday, January 23rd of this year, we journalized my remarks regarding the former member from Highgate, which appear on page 2856 of this past Friday's House Journal. The words I chose to express my grief while trying to honor the family left behind have stirred reactions and the emotions of many sexual abuse survivors. With that, and therefore, I move that we rescind our vote to journalize these remarks and expunge those remarks from the Friday House Journal.
The member from Swanton moves that the House rescind its vote to journalize his remarks, which appear on page 2856 of this past Friday's House Journal, and expunge those remarks from the journal. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have voted to rescind the journalization of the remarks of the member from Swanton and expunge those remarks from Friday's House Journal. Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, orders of the day. Members, we will begin with Senate Bill 23, which is an act relating to the use of synthetic media in elections. The Senate concurred in the House proposal of amendment with a further proposal of amendment thereto that is printed in today's calendar. Member from Virgins.
Madam Speaker, your House Committee on Government Operations and Military Affairs met and discussed the Senate proposal of amendment to S-23. The committee moves that the House refuse to concur with the Senate proposal and that a committee of conference be appointed. The committee voted to do so via straw poll by a count of 11-0-0.
The member from Virgins moves that the House refuse to concur in the Senate proposal of amendment to the House proposal of amendment and that a committee of conference be appointed. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have refused to concur and requested a committee of conference. Pursuant to your action, the chair appoints the following members to serve on the part of the House: the member from Virgins, Representative Byrong, the member from Berkshire, Representative Hango, and the member from Charlotte, Representative Waters Evans. Up next is House Bill 532, which is an act relating to mandatory retirement of college professors. Please listen to the third reading of the bill.
H 532, an act relating to mandatory retirement of college professors.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have passed the bill. Up next is House Bill 270, which is an act relating to confidentiality for peer support counseling among emergency service providers. The bill was referred to the Committee on Health Care, which recommends that the bill be amended as printed in today's calendar. The member from Lincoln, Representative Leaders, will speak for the committee. Please listen to the second reading of the bill.
H 270, an act relating to confidentiality for peer support counseling among emergency service providers.
Member from Lincoln.
Madam Speaker, H 270, a bill relating to confidentiality for peer support counseling among emergency service providers, would assist those who assist us in our time of greatest need. The committee respectfully recommends that the strike all amendment be adopted. You can find the text of the bill on today's House calendar at page 219. Who are the people that rush toward danger, toward the emergency, toward situations of life and death when need arises? We think of them as first responders, the folks who show up right away and experience the full impact of whatever situation awaits them. What this bill would do would be to provide the support of a trained peer and to do so with the protections of confidentiality. Why is the confidential support of a trained peer an especially effective form of support for emergency service providers? It has to do with the culture from which an emergency service provider comes, a culture of stoicism, the fear of stigma in seeking help, and the fear that the communications would be shared with a superior. We heard compelling testimony from those with long years of service and extraordinary credentials who recognize the importance of emergency service providers being able to speak with a peer, someone who understands what they have experienced, and to do so in a confidential setting. The testimony included superiors who recognized the value of confidentiality. We learned the sobering fact that more first responders take their own lives as a result of the toll this work takes than lose their lives in the line of duty. We learned that peer support can take several forms. It might be a critical incident stress debriefing in which a group of first responders gather together to talk through the process and emotions and stress, and to do so in a healthy, guided fashion. It might be an individual responding to a particular traumatizing event. We learned that intervention from a peer soon after the incident is the best way to avoid PTSD. We also learned of the accumulative and chronic stress impact over time, and that the work of an emergency service provider, it is no longer one particular event, but the additive impact of doing this work day in and day out. It can be the result of a confidential peer support session that an emergency service provider will seek out additional and more professional help. This bill would create a continuum of confidentiality and a trusted pathway to the best support that is needed. I will now walk you through the sections of the bill. Section 1 would add 18 VSA 7257C, confidentiality peer support for emergency service providers. Section A adds various definitions, including emergency service provider, employer, peer support communication, peer support program, peer support session, emergency service peer support specialist. Subsections B, 1 and 2, and subsection C provide for confidentiality and protections for peer support sessions and communications. Subsection B1 provides for confidentiality of peer support communications subject to exceptions enumerated in subsection D. Subsection B2 provides for a Public Records Act exemption for written peer support communications. Subsection C provides for protections for peer support communications in legal proceedings unless otherwise discoverable outside of a protected, confidential peer support communication. The bill includes some exceptions to confidentiality, and these are found in D1 of the bill and include threat of suicide or homicide, information relating to the abuse of a child or vulnerable adult, information of conduct likely to pose a risk to public safety, and the admission of a plan to commit a crime. This bill also makes it clear that participants who are subject to the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, also known as HIPAA, would remain subject to those requirements, and that while communications can still take place, they must take place subject to HIPAA requirements. Subsection E protects an employer, emergency service peer support specialist, or peer support program from civil liability or damages, unless the conduct constitutes gross negligence, recklessness, or intentional misconduct. Section 2 is the effective date of July 1st, 2026, and that after passage, the title of the bill would be amended to read an act relating to confidentiality in peer support sessions for emergency service providers. Madam Speaker, H270 was brought to the committee on the initiative of the Vermont Emergency Service Providers Wellness Commission. Every day, Vermonters receive help and assistance in extreme circumstances from emergency responders, and this bill would give Vermonters an opportunity to help them in return. The committee heard from the following in support of H270: the Burlington Fire Department, the Vermont State Police Special Operations, Special Accounts and Strategic Services Director, EAP, Secure Support Team, the Vermont Police Association, former police chief of Barrie and South Burlington, Vermont League of Cities and Towns Legislative Council. H270 passed this strike-all amendment favorably out of committee with a vote of 11-0-0.
The question is, shall the bill be amended as recommended by the Committee on Healthcare? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have amended the bill. Now the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and third reading is ordered. Members, now we'll take up House Bill 516, which is an act relating to approval of amendments to the Charter of the Town of Essex. The bill was referred to the Committee on Government Operations and Military Affairs, which recommends that the bill be amended as printed in today's calendar. The member from Dorset, Representative Pisanal, will speak for the committee. Please listen to the second reading of the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member, we just need to read the bill.
Oh, sorry.
H 516, an act relating to approval of amendments to the Charter of the Town of Essex.
Now, member from Dorset.
I'm a little anxious. Thank you, Madam Speaker. H 516 is an act relating to approval of amendments to the Charter of the Town of Essex. The statement and purpose of the bill as introduced is Chapter 117 for the Town of Essex. This bill proposes to approve the amendments to the Charter of the Town of Essex to provide that the Select Board member's office shall be deemed vacant if the member moves from the town or fails to attend at least 50% of the meetings of the Select Board in any calendar year, to establish the duties of the town moderator and procedures for the election of the moderator pro tem in the absence of the moderator, to authorize the Select Board to appoint the members of the Town Cemetery Commission, to eliminate certain officers from the list of officers that shall be appointed by the Select Board, to require the Select Board to employ a public accountant to examine the financial statements of the funds of the town, and to correct grammar, references, and style throughout the Charter of the Town of Essex. Section 1, Charter Amendment Approval. The General Assembly approved of the amendments to the voters approved, and the voters approved the proposals on March 4th, 2025. Several technical changes were made in verbiage to align with updated language. Section 204C has been changed to read, in the event of death, resignation, change of residence outside the town, or incapacity of any select board member, the remaining members of the select board may appoint a person eligible to fill that position until the next annual or special meeting. If the select board is unable to agree upon an interim replacement until the next annual or special meeting, a special election shall be held forthwith to fill the position. Incapacity shall include the failure of any member of the select board to attend at least 50% of the meetings of the select board in any calendar year. Section 204D was added. The town moderator shall perform the duties as prescribed by law and shall preside at all town meetings. But in the moderator's absence, the town clerk shall call the meeting to order, and the first order of business shall be the election of a moderator pro tem to preside for the duration of the meeting. The moderator shall conduct every meeting according to this charter or the laws of the state of Vermont. The moderator shall preserve order in the conduct of the business of the meeting, and in all things shall preserve the principles of fairness and openness in town government. In the event of the death, resignation, or change of residence to a location outside the town, the select board may appoint a person eligible to fill that position until the next annual or special town meeting. If the select board is unable to agree upon an interim replacement until the next annual or special meeting, a special election shall be held forthwith to fill the position. Section 206B was amended to allow the minutes of each minute to be approved by the select board as soon as reasonably possible, and the official copy authenticated by the signature of the clerk of the select board. Section 208A added the cemetery commission for the permanent appointments made by the select board. Section 402, officials appointed by the town manager. These appointments were cleaned up, and the town manager, upon approval of the select board, can appoint the town clerk, town treasurer, assistant town clerk, constables, director of public works, police chief, fire chief, a town agent if the town attorney is not a resident of the town of Essex, health officer, and a zoning administrator, and any other officer that the select board is authorized to appoint if the select board has not filled the office within 45 days after the day the position becomes vacant. Based on the request from the town, our committee amends Section 402 to remove the cemetery commission. Subchapter 6 refers to the annual meeting, and in Section 602A states that the select board shall employ by contract a public accountant to examine the financial statements of the funds of the town, and the annual auditor's report shall be made available to the voters not later than 30 days prior to the annual meeting, and added that a notification of the availability of the annual auditor's report shall be distributed by mail to all Essex households at least 30 days prior to the meeting. 602B now states that the annual town report shall be made available to the residents at least 10 days prior to the annual meeting. Section 604A, time of holding an annual meeting shall be warned and held as specified in 17 VSA 2680. In subsection 604B, the election of officers and the voting on all questions shall be decided, including the budget, by Australian ballot. In subchapter 10, section 1003, changes the Department of Real Estate Appraisal to the Department of Assessment, and added that the department shall review or cause to be reviewed the appraisals of all real property in the town that is subject to taxation in accordance with the standards for appraising established by the state law. Section 1005, powers and duties. The Department of Assessment shall have the same power, discharge the same duties, proceed in the discharge of duties in the same manner, and be subject to the same liabilities as listers pursuant to the Vermont State's annotated and this charter. Section 3 repeals Title 24 Appendix VSA Chapter 117, subsection 603 is repealed. The Committee on Government Operations and Military Affairs heard testimony from legal counsel, Vice Chair of the Essex Select Board, the bill sponsors, and the Essex Town Manager. This act shall take place upon passage. Our committee voted the bill out 11-0-0 favorable with amendment, and I ask the House for its support.
The question is, shall the bill be amended as recommended by the Committee on Government Operations and Military Affairs? Are you ready for the question? Member from Bennington.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I interrogate the presenter of the bill real quick?
The member from Dorset is interrogated.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a question on the bill regarding the part about the select board vacancy and where it says incapacity shall include the failure by any member of the select board to attend at least 50% of the meetings of the select board in any calendar year. How is attendance defined in statute or in the charter change that's presented? Is virtual option, is partial attendance of a meeting considered? What constitutes that 50%?
Can I refer to my member?
The member from Dorset yields to the member from Vergennes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, member, for the question. Attendance does include virtual and physical attendance. As to the nuance for partial attendance, we did not ask that specific question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question is, shall the bill be amended as recommended by the Committee on Government Operations and Military Affairs? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have amended the bill. Now the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Are you ready for that question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and third reading is ordered. Members, that completes the orders of the day. Are there any announcements? Seeing none. Member from Poultney, can you please offer us a motion to adjourn until Thursday, January 29th at 3:30 p.m.?
Madam Speaker, I make a motion this body stand in adjournment until Thursday, January 29th, 2026 at 3:30 p.m.
You have heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and this body stands in adjournment until tomorrow.